Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we are digging into something that is, no joke, the unsung hero of every single AI project, the heavy lifting of data preparation. This is the part that really makes or breaks a project.
You know, it's a story I hear all the time. A team has brilliant engineers, a fantastic idea, but the project just stalls. It's so frustrating. So what's the real culprit here? What's the biggest roadblock?
And here's the thing, it's almost never the fancy algorithm. We get so obsessed with complex models, right? But the truth is, the fate of your project is pretty much sealed long before you even think about writing modeling code. It really truly all comes down to the data.
Okay, so let's give this unsung hero the spotlight it deserves. I get it. It's not the sexiest part of AI, but data prep, it's the absolute engine of your project.
The CPMAI methodology, which is a big deal in the industry for managing AI projects, actually puts data preparation right as the third major phase. It comes after you figure out the business goals and understand your data. So this is where the rubber meets the road, where you actually build the data set your model is going to train on. I love this analogy. Think about building a house. Your raw data, that's just a messy pile of bricks, wood, and pipes. Data preparation is the process of sorting all that out and turning it into a solid, detailed blueprint. If you skip that, well, you're trying to build a skyscraper on a pile of rubble. Good luck with that. So, what does this foundation work actually involve? Well, it's a pretty clear pipeline, and it all starts with two key steps: selecting and cleaning. Yeah, this lays it out perfectly. First, you've got to select the right data. Don't just grab everything. Then, you clean it. And that means fixing errors, dealing with missing values, getting rid of duplicates, all that good stuff. Only then, once you have that solid base, can you get to the really cool parts, like enhancing the data and labeling it. And this is where it gets really interesting in my opinion. We're moving past just janitorial work, you know? We're not just cleaning up messes. We are actively creating new value and literally making our dataset smarter. One of the coolest ways to do this is by creating something called derived attributes. It sounds fancy, but it's a simple idea. You just use the data you already have to invent brand new, more powerful pieces of information.
Here's a super simple example. Let's say you have a length column and a width column. Boom. You can multiply them together to create a brand new area feature. And you know what? That new area attribute is often way more useful for your model than length or width on their own.
Okay, but what happens when the data you need isn't all in one neat little file? This is a super common problem, right? The most valuable insights are almost always hiding where different datasets overlap. And that's where merging comes in. All right, let's play this out. Imagine you're working for a big retail chain. You've got your internal data, right? Store ID, how much floor space it has, annual profit, all that. It's good info, for sure, but it's kind of floating in a vacuum. It's missing the why. But now, what if you get your hands on a second dataset? This one's from a third party, and it's all about demographics. Median income, average age, stuff like that, for the zip codes where your stores are. All of a sudden, bam, you can connect your store's performance to the actual community it's in. So, you merge them together using something they have in common, like this zip code. And what you end up with is one single, incredibly rich data set. Now your model can start to see patterns that were totally invisible before, like, hey, do our bigger stores in higher income areas make more money? This is exactly how you find those game-changing insights that you'd never see if you just looked at the data separately. Okay, so our data is clean, it's enhanced. We're almost there. There's often one more crucial step, especially if you're doing what's called supervised learning. That just means the AI learns from examples where we've already given it the right answer. And providing those answers, that's data labeling. And again, the CPMAI workbook makes a great point here. This isn't just grunt work. It's a huge strategic decision. You have to decide who is going to do all that labeling. Like, who's going to read thousands of customer reviews and mark them positive or negative? The choice you make here can have massive ripple effects on your project's timeline, your budget, and, most importantly, the quality of the final model. So you've basically got two main options, and they both have pros and cons. You can use your own team, your internal labor. The big win there? Quality control and deep knowledge. Your people get your business. The downside? It can be slow and expensive. On the other hand, you can hire a third-party service. They're going to be fast, they can scale up, and it might be cheaper. But you'll probably lose some of that specific domain expertise, and you better have a rock-solid plan for checking their quality. There's no magic bullet here. It's all about what makes sense for your project. Okay, so we've done all this work. We've selected, cleaned, enhanced, and labeled. So, what was the point? What's the big payoff? Well, remember where we started? With a messy, incomplete, totally disconnected pile of data. It had potential, sure, but you couldn't really do anything with it. And look what we have now. It's a total transformation. We've turned that raw junk into a genuine strategic asset. It's clean, it's packed with valuable features, and it's perfectly built to solve our specific problem.
And this is what it looks like in the end. It brings everything together. You've got your original clean data. You've got that new feature we created, the derived one. You've got the extra info we merged in from another source. And you've got that all-important label. This right here, this is the high-octane fuel your AI model needs to perform.
So, if you take one thing away from this, it's this. Please don't think of data prep as a chore. Think of it as your biggest opportunity to create real value. It's where you can be creative, where you can find new connections, and where you build the foundation for everything that comes next. Which really just leaves one question. What hidden value is sitting there, just waiting to be unlocked in your data?